Today I have Monique Mills with me. She's amazing. If you don't know who she is, you need to do some Googling. Like, you will be mind blown. She's doing so many good things. She is the first chapter in the book, straight out, blowing it out of the park with a very interesting title called The Unpolished MBA. And I know we will talk a little bit about that, but you had such an incredible chapter, Monique. Thank you for doing that, first
Thank
and
you.
foremost.
Hmm.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you do. Like what's there is no ordinary day for you. But
No.
what tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So, with my background in engineering, it has
Hmm.
allowed me to um, build on it
Hmm.
as I mentioned in my chapter, when went back for my MBA
Yeah.
and learned how to apply business concepts to my
Hmm.
knowledge, it has ever since been a lot of business building, both for
Right.
myself and for thousands of other clients that I have worked with. And that is my day to day. Currently, I have a few companies that I'm running.
Hmm.
One is a consulting company where I
Right.
help with strategy and all that, revenue growth, and with startups, mostly tech and
Hmm.
small businesses here in the US. And a spinoff of that, I know it seems kind of out there, but because I'm an engineer and so is my husband, we actually took over a business that's a HVAC
Mm.
company, right? Service company,
Yeah.
condenser coil cleaning.
Yeah.
And so for people to see my face involved in, like I'm the general manager of it.
Hmm.
So that's one of the other companies that we've taken over, and I'm
Right.
building that. And I also own
Hmm.
a chain of franchise um, locations that are
Right.
in the state of Georgia, and they're AI skincare studios. Uh,
Right.
so basically
That's
amplify
cool.
your skin. Uh-huh. Based upon the pollen, the environmental elements in the air, the temperature, especially if for women, different
Hmm.
times of the month, all
Oh
of those
yeah.
things affect your skin. And so
Tell
our
me about it.
exactly. So, and the season, the location, in the country that you're located,
Hmm.
all of those things are in our algorithm. And so when you come in for your skincare, it scans you
Mm.
and it advises our
Wow.
nurse practitioners on what products to use that day and all of that. And one of the things we found, we
Cool.
partnered with the doctor team, and from their research,
Hmm.
they found that your skin, has refreshed its cells every 30 days. So
Okay.
you should be having a facial done once a month, and it's not a nice to have, right?
What? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Mind blowing. Thank you
Who
for having
knew,
this
right?
conversation with me.
Exactly. So, yeah, that franchise and other small business acquisitions are under a family
Hmm.
portfolio that we're building that
Right.
includes the coil cleaning business and other
Hmm.
small businesses that we own.
Nice. You
So,
keep busy.
yeah, yeah. But that's the good thing about being in STEM. It teaches you
Yeah.
how to think strategically and problem solve, and just, the reason why I wrote the chapter is because
Hmm.
I want people to know that you can do whatever you want to do.
Oh
You don't have
yeah.
to be boxed into a certain thing, because really that type of educational journey prepares you for, I would say, anything, because
Hmm.
you become a trained problem solver. I don't care
Yes.
what kind of engineer you are. So
Engineers are trained to solve those problems.
that's it. That's it. And I typically say, even on my LinkedIn profile, I say an
Hmm.
entrepreneur is just a person who has designed a business model to get paid to
Right.
solve problems. That's
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
I love that. Definitely. I definitely love that.
Yeah.
And I know in your chapter you talk about, your journey into entrepreneurship, the way that you have transitioned, and all of these great things in life. Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to give people that insight with your chapter.
Yeah, my chapter is a little bit more personal, and I knew that when I first started writing it. So kind of
Nice.
like within the first few sentences, I say that in the chapter,
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you know what? I was going to make this more formal, but I'm just to
Mm-hmm.
stop right here, and
Yeah,
I want you to read this chapter like I'm talking to you. And
definitely.
hopefully, once they see this video, they'll be like, oh, they can hear my
Mm-hmm.
voice when they read that
Yes.
chapter.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
Um, I think the biggest thing is for me in particular, it's just so many aspects of like intersectionality in
Mm-hmm.
who I am. So, I talk about being raised by a single mom, being a
Mm-hmm.
product of an affair. So I didn't have my
Mm-hmm.
dad. And,
Right.
all of those things having, being the youngest of 13 and, first to go into college and all of these things just sound absolutely crazy. And then when people look at my LinkedIn profile, they're like, how did you get from there to here?
Yes.
This doesn't make any sense,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think one of the things that keeps me just motivated and
Mm-hmm.
happy to share my experiences that I want to encourage others that where you
Yes,
came from is not where you're going.
definitely.
It doesn't
Yep.
determine your future. So one of the things I didn't mention I may have mentioned it in the chapter, but it's
Mm-hmm.
clearly on my LinkedIn profile, is
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a professor. I teach
Yes,
entrepreneurship
yes.
and innovation in the business school, just a couple hours a
Yeah,
week. And although it's a very fulfilling job because
right.
when they see me show up, they kind of like, first of all, like, who is she?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd she come
Yes.
from? Kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. You have to establish credibility. And, a lot of them are surprised that, oh, wow, okay, you're an engineer, but you're doing
Mm-hmm.
business. And
Right.
the college that I teach at is known for having a lot of first generation college students.
Ah,
They are the first and only in their family to go to college, those
nice.
kind of things. And so I kind of sneak in, right? And secretly encourage them throughout the semester in so many ways and just let them
Right.
know they're capable of so much more than
Yes.
they have seen, been exposed to, may have thought of for themselves. And then kind of later in the semester, I reveal a bit about my story, and it
Nice.
just really captures them and makes them be like, okay, like I can do this. I can do this.
Yes, they
Tough, but I can
can.
do this.
They
Mm-hmm.
can definitely do that. Like, I love that you're encouraging them because that's where it starts. It starts at that level.
Yeah.
And it's at that time when they're just still thinking, they don't have as many boundaries on them. Like, the world hasn't shattered them yet to make them think, I
Yes.
can't do this, or I can't do that, or I can't do the next.
Mm-hmm.
And they're at that open playing field. And just
Yeah.
to have you in their midst and, you telling them, you can do that. Why
Mm-hmm.
don't you try this? Be more curious about that. Like,
Yeah.
why, you know, thank you for doing that and for getting them more involved in that
Yeah.
because that's what it's about. It's really, we have to nurture the future generations to
That's right.
actually get them because they're the ones who are going to handle everything when we're
That's
not
right.
here.
That's right. That's right. That is, and I think, in this world, we can be very um, self-consumed.
Hmm.
And I get it. It's a lot going on. But one of the things, interestingly enough, one of the things I was just saying yesterday is I
Yeah.
was looking at a whole in my notebook. I have like a digital notebook, and I was like saved a whole bunch of links
Wow.
from like 10 years ago, right? And it
Hmm.
was like news articles and things about business and
Hmm.
things that's happening with companies that I would share with clients. And I
Right.
looked back at the headlines and I was like, they're the exact same headlines today,
My gosh.
2025, talking about the housing market. We're
Hmm.
losing jobs. This is soft. The market is soft, and what's going to happen, and all of this
Hmm.
fear-based media.
Hmm.
And it has this generation feeling hopeless.
Yes.
And so I have to jump in and say, listen, when I was in college, the dot-com bubble burst and everyone thought the world was going to end. Right. And then I was around when
Oh
the
my
real
gosh.
estate bubble burst here.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing our, and everyone thought everything's
Yeah.
going
Oh my
under.
gosh.
I
Yeah.
said, you guys are going to survive this.
No matter what.
And no matter what, the same
Yeah.
headlines from 10 years ago are the same ones you see in the media now.
There are so much fear mongering. It's
Yeah.
like there are times I do not read the news.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just it doesn't make sense. Like
No.
show me the facts. And let me make my assessment there instead.
Right. Just keep doing your best every day, putting
Mhm.
one foot in front of the other, because everyone has a goal and purpose for being here. I don't care
Mhm.
what the headline
Yeah.
says. I don't care who's the president. I
Yeah.
don't care it doesn't matter. None of
Yeah.
that stuff matters. And so
No.
I need them to just stay focused on where they're going. And I
Yeah.
feel as if because of my story, it gives me credibility in
Does.
saying that,
Mm-hmm. It
right?
does.
So,
And how would you encourage them besides everything else that you're already doing? Like, how would you
hmm,
encourage them to get involved in STEM? Because your background is engineering, and like even from talking to some of the other authors, they're like, they don't think that they are still, somebody in STEM because they're not doing exactly that right now. But like
hmm.
STEM is all around us.
It's everything. And
Yeah.
especially now with AI
Oh,
being more
yes.
accessible, right? So I tell my students, I'm like, AI is not new. I
Hmm.
did electrical engineering. And
Yeah.
so this was all a part of, our curriculum 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
20 something years ago. And so, but the thing is now it's accessible, especially with the
Hmm.
internet, and you're able to run things directly on your computer. So
Hmm.
people feel more technically inclined, whether or
Yeah.
not they call themselves an engineer, they have the tools and really um, the problem solving abilities
Hmm.
that comes along with, studying that as a major.
Yes.
Now, I think that more people, and here's the thing, back to the headlines, right?
Hmm.
Some of those headlines are just like, engineers aren't getting jobs, stop
Yeah.
it, going to school for that. I'm like,
No.
don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Because I remember 10 years ago, the narrative was, you don't need to go to college at all.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in the narrative that's been kind of running, oh no, you don't need college. They hire people without college degrees. And I'm like, don't listen to them
Hmm.
because I'm telling you, behind closed doors,
You
they
don't
are
need
looking to
that.
see if you have the ability to start something and complete it when things get, tough and, go through different types of challenges and
Hmm.
find opportunities, it says a lot about
Does.
your character and your resilience. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's all about building that because you're the only person who can do that.
that's right. That's right.
And if you do not challenge yourself, then you would not.
That's
You.
right. Hmm. And we're all on this personal journey that's
Hmm.
unlike each other. We all are, unique. And so, yeah, just resonating with that. And here's one of the things I would say about studying STEM.
Hmm.
I have met a lot of people who have this like kind of
Hmm.
duplicity where they are very rational
Hmm.
and also super creative. So um, I'm not in my regular office, but in my regular office, I have a huge painting that I created behind me that's like the size of this wall
Oh my
behind.
gosh.
And people be like, "Oh wow, that painting is so beautiful." It's like a huge, like abstract face that's kind of
Yeah.
melting, and it's really big. And so people are like, "Wow, that's so cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, I made it." And they be like, "You did? Like that's crazy." But that's part of just trying to develop and not box yourselves in
Hmm.
to, oh, it's just math and it's just very
Yeah.
science. And it's like, no, there is some structure to allow you to think strategically,
Hmm.
a lot of creativity
Yes.
in STEM.
A lot of creativity. And STEM, I think, bridges all gaps, honestly.
Yes.
It
Yes.
it
Agree.
helps so much and like it's such a good, strong foundation for anybody getting into anything that they have to do because you need STEM in your life. Like
Yep.
it
Yep.
it's part of who you are, like no matter whether you like it or not. It may not involve as much math for some people, but
That's right.
it is part of life. But Monique, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for writing the chapter and letting us know all about your journey, moving in between these different phases and giving people that insight and giving them that hope and that inspiration. Like, huge thank you for that.
It's
And
my pleasure.
if you haven't checked out the book yet, Empowering Women in STEM, book number 3. This is the first chapter that you would read, all about the unpolished MBA. Thank you so much for writing the chapter and thank you so much for your time, Monique.
Thank you.
Until we talk again, bye.
Talk again. Take care. Bye.